After the great success of Centipede the arcade game, it wasn't long before we found ourselves having Millipede in the arcades, the great sequel to Centipede. And man, it really was a worthy sequel. And would you believe that not too long after that, we received Millipede for the Atari 2600? Yeah, I didn't know about this back in the day, but I discovered when I started collecting again in my 30s or so that it was a real thing, and man, Millipede really comes through. Of course, for Atari 2600, we have some great original art with that imposing looking Millipede. There is nothing like that Atari art even in the later years. They always come through. And again, this is Millipede, not Centipede, and there is a difference, as this YouTuber Lindsay Nicole will tell you.
For another day. And this does not include centipedes, by the way. They have their own separate class called Chilopoda. The main difference between the two is that centipedes have one pair of legs per segment, and millipedes have 2 pairs of legs per segment. Generally. I don't want to make a sweeping statement across the board because nature will just swing back around and kick my ass. But both centipedes and millipedes belong to a larger group called the myriapods. And so, the amount of legs a millipede has nothing to do with what their name translates to. Millipede means 1,000 feet. But generally, they have somewhere between 24 to 750 legs. Generally. Just wait. So obviously, since appearing about 420 million years ago, millipedes have diversified into abysmal forms of all sizes. But before we get into that, I want to paint a picture of what the world was like.
Well, that answers my question, because I always figured millipedes had 100 legs perfectly, and this YouTuber Lindsay Nicole just set me straight on that. Well, anyway, when it comes to millipede, if you've played well on a previous game, you can start a game at a higher level. Hell, if you got a 200,000 point game, they'll let you start at 200, around near that score. My last game was around 85,000. They'll generously let you start at 75,000. But that's the thing about Millipede. The creators of this game are very proud, and they made it very challenging. And right now, there is a scoring contest going on, put on by Daniel Stevens and Stephen Jones. And if you think you're going to cheat that score by just selecting a higher starting score for Millipede, well, you got another thing coming, because watch. I'll intentionally die here, even though I don't like to. And remember they let me start my game just now at 70,000? Well, check it out. Game over, right? I'll just start at 70,000, right? I push the button. No, look, it says 60,000. I'm pushing the controller up. I can pull it down. And look, we can go lower, but the best they'll let me start out now is 60,000. It's almost like the game is taunting you, like, hey, you're not good enough. You don't earn the right to start at 70,000. You don't have the privilege to. It's basically saying...
And sterilize so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
They're a crook.
Jeez.
They're a cheat.
That's the thing. You can't cheat the game. So now the best you can do is start at 60,000. The game's like, tough luck, I gave you a chance. So this game is very proud of itself, and I think it knows it. It's got a sweet title screen. When the game's over, it says game over in nice text. Believe me, that doesn't sound like much, but in Atari terms, you don't always get that. Hell, when you kill the spiders, you see the points. You don't always get to see that in your average Atari game. See the DDT? It's almost like letters on the screen are unheard of in this. See how you get the points for the spider? It's really good. Everything's there. The flea just killed me. But that's the thing. So I just finished my game, right? I'll start another game. But look, it'll only let me start at 45,000. That's the best I can do. Believe me, I'm pushing up the controller. I can go down, but the best I can do there is the 45,000. It's almost like the game's like, no, that's it. You missed your chance to play at a higher level.
And sterilize so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day indeed, I tell ya. This game is straight up cruel. So you better play well.
Where's the chocolate?
I doubt if there is any.
Really nice, clean graphics. It kind of sections off this bottom to let you know that not only is you can't go any higher than that, but that's the area that if you clear out too many mushrooms, they'll plant more on you. So that gray area there is legit. It's there for a reason. Otherwise, these graphics are clean. And I can play this better, but I don't know. The game just starting to kick my butt right now. I'm really impressed with Millipede. I dare say this might be the best shooter for the Atari 2600. Look at all this. Pound for pound, all the different enemies, the different amount of challenge, the beautiful colors that just keep changing, even on the title screens. I mean, oh, and that sound for the extra life. This really is a world-class shooter for your Atari 2600, and I think it's a little bit underrated. So you want to cheat that scoring contest that Daniel Stevens and Stephen Jones are holding? You can't. You can start this game at 0, and it'll start real easy, and you'll get your points up eventually. But if you think you're just going to start your game at 90,000, even though you can earn the right to eventually, it's not going to happen that way if you don't play well enough. Those DDTs, you get more points when you kill centipedes that way. I just got an extra life. This has a ton of action. I just scored a game. I got about 200,000 earlier, and I was really working in that last 70,000. It really puts you to work. See? 77,000. Well, I'll just start a new game up in a high score. Nope. Now they demoted me to 60. And that's the... Actually, 60 is pretty good. But if you don't do well, they won't give you anything. It's kind of like...
Sterilize so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I tell ya. It's brutal, man. It's brutal, I'm telling you. But I will tell you this. Millipede is an incredible game for your Atari 2600. Get it not just for the contest, but because it's just a must-have. And I'm telling you, you can't miss it. So I think that's the end of my review.
Has to be washed
And so I will say to you...
Nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day indeed. Actually, you win if you buy Millipede and if you watch my reviews. Have a good night. Good day, sir!